Hello everybody, this is BladeCrossEXE, and this is my review of the Galvatron figures. Yeah, they've had several different color schemes over the last few years. The first version was the Kingdom from the War for Cybertron line. It basically was the same as this, but it had some various battle damage on it. This one is from the Legacy line, and it's basically just a good, nice, rich purple color, and looks kind of close to its movie counterpart, but not quite the same shade. And right after I did my unboxing video of this figure, they announced that they were actually doing a Studio Series 86 version of Galvatron, so I am actually selling this one to a friend, and I will be getting that one when it comes out. And I did an unboxing, but I actually want to do like a full review based on its ease of transformation and its articulation, etc. And I did also get the Generation Selects version of Galvatron that is more accurate to the original G1 toy color scheme. You can see the matrix is a different color. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but the arm cannon, okay, there we go, actually has bits of sparkle in it that the one from the Legacy version does not. And it's also like a slightly lighter shade of orange. It doesn't look quite as burnt, I would say. It actually shows it better on camera than I thought it would. But yeah, that's a nice look right there. I'm starting this one in gun mode, I'm starting this one in robot mode, and I'm going to transform it both ways to show you how it's done. And the extra gun that it comes with is actually a two-piece. Stand up. Okay. Is actually a two-piece, and both halves resemble the Decepticon flagship, the Revenge, which is what Galvatron got from Unicron during the movie, like right after he and his troops were transformed and upgraded. So that's why they look like this. I do think it's kind of silly, but you put them together, and they form one big gun. And in cannon mode, you can put them on either side there. And of course, he's got the matrix of leadership around on a chain around his neck, just like in the movie. And I've already went over the accessories during my unboxing video. Now, onto my review of the figure itself. As far as the articulation goes, it's pretty decent. It's a very nice, fun toy. Legs go forward and backward. It does have a good bit of range of motion in terms of, like, if you want to make him do the splits. Pretty close. There's thigh rotation right here, you can see. The knees on their own don't rotate, which, that's not really a problem. You got thigh rotation, so that's pretty good range of motion. The feet kind of bend sideways, and then they flip out like that, but that's part of the transformation and all that. Little side peg right here. Again, I think that's part of the cannon's, like, stabilizer, I guess. Got this little piece right here. I'm not sure if that's meant to be used in robot mode or not. It can flip down to stabilize him while standing or just for cannon mode. This little flap right there, that's part of the transformation. These little side flaps right here, they move so you can give him better range of motion while doing the splits. His arms, they can rotate all the way around at the shoulder. He does have some bicep swivel. Elbows bend. The hand flips inward like that. And then it's got this little tank tread here, which is what he uses as a front stabilizer while in cannon mode. And the shoulders pop off to the side like this. Again, I think that's part of the transformation. I don't know if they're actually supposed to sit like that or straight up. Let's remove the matrix. The head can look down. Can't really move up very much, but it does rotate 360 degrees. One complaint I have about the cannon for robot mode, besides the fact that it's, translucent plastic, unlike the upcoming Studio 86 one that's solid, I think the cannon barrel for robot mode is a little bit too long for my personal tastes. Just because if you watch it in animation, like in the cartoon, in the movie, the gun isn't quite this long, and it being this long and cumbersome makes some of the shots, if you want to recreate them, a little bit awkward. Like, I remember at the end of the movie, he basically punched Rodimus Prime with the barrel of his cannon, and in the episode, The Burden Hardest to Bear, he got his hands back on the Matrix, because of Scourge. He takes the Matrix off, and he puts it in his cannon, and when it doesn't fire, because the power of the Matrix is not compatible with him because Unicron, he actually looks down the barrel of his cannon while it's not firing. He's like, you broke the Matrix, it's not working. And you can't do that. Like, it's too long. I know that you can plug in the cannon on his bicep as well, which I think that actually is more toy accurate. but I prefer it on the forearm because it allows for better aiming and for better, more screen accurate shots. But if I were to design this figure, I would have said have a longer barrel for cannon mode, like this, and then I would have made a shorter one for robot mode. Just ever so slightly shorter. Just like maybe right here. I'm actually kind of surprised that with the upgrade kits we have for this mold of Galvatron, no one's done that yet. But, you know, everyone's priorities are in a different place when it comes with what they want in terms of accuracy to Transformers figures, whether it be screen accurate, comic accurate, etc. Oh, didn't realize that didn't fold back in all the way. There we go. He can rotate on his hips can rotate a little bit, but not a lot because that back flap is in the way. He has like no... I don't want to say he doesn't have a butt, but that's just the simplest way to put it. Because like you got some kind of armor in the front here. He's got like a cod piece, but he doesn't really have anything back there. It's just like kind of a skeletal frame. And I know it doesn't really matter because most of the time you're looking at the front of the figure and not the back, but it's just a little small observation I've made. I do kind of like the detailing here. I like how the paint looks nice and clean on the abs right here. As opposed to this one, maybe it's just my figure specifically, but the abs, the paint is a little messy right there. I don't know if you can see it that well on the camera, but you can see that the gray kind of bled onto the black, like a little cross shape right there. It's not as clean as the red is, like the paint job itself. I don't know if it's just my figure or if it's like that with all of them, but it is what it is, and I'll get to transforming that here in a sec. So, now we have Galvatron in robot mode. Let's go ahead and change him into cannon mode. So first thing we're going to do is pop the cannon off. Next, I will untab that from the back. Then you pull this forward. Or you pull that back, actually. His head pops down in here. Oh, yeah. Arms. I always forget the arms first. Arms go down. Then you take the chest, you untab it from here, and then the head goes back into this little compartment right here. One thing I kind of noticed is that his front fin thing on his crown, I guess you'd call it, does kind of like brush up against the inside of this. This is going to be the cannon barrel. It does kind of brush up against that, so that might lead to some paint scuffing later. I actually think it's better to rotate it around. It does scuff a little more, or it does like push a little more. See, it like has to touch that back wall right there. My thumb was in the way on that shot, but like it scrapes. But that's the only way I can get him to fit properly. Peg that into place. And that's where the cannon barrel is going to go. And the chest piece just folds back down, and then you can put the matrix back right there where it goes. Because again, like in the movie, he had it around that. So, I'm going to leave that there. Next, we're going to fold the hands in. Fold the elbows up. And the tank treads pop up right there. So we pull the little skirt flaps forward, then we take the arms and then we fold them back down. Like we collapse them onto their hinges right here. All right, from there, we're going to fold in the little heel pieces. We're going to put his heels together and tab those in place. You can see there's a little tab right there. We bring these little back pieces, or these little calf side pieces up, and we tab them together. So he stands like this. From there, we're supposed to put the cannon barrel down in the front, bring this up like that. That pegs into place. After we have that, we take the legs and we push them back, and we're supposed to move this down so that it sits like this. I always think that looks a little bit silly, so I actually prefer to do it at kind of a slanted angle so it looks more like he does in the movie, to where it's like an angled artillery cannon instead of just straight forward and backward. But when we put him right here, we take the little side skirt things that were just kind of hanging down there, and you see we tab them into this little peg right there. A little bit tight, but it is doable. Then you set the arms down to where he's sitting on his treads. You take the matrix, you plug it back into place on his chest piece. You make sure that that stays together in the back. You take this and put it to the side, or you can mount it right here. And if you want, you can flip these down so that way they're not in the way. And that way it says like that. Plug the cannon barrel in the front. And you take the two little ship guns and you peg them on the side right here. With some difficulty because I'm kind of clumsy. There we go. And with that, we have Galvatron. One thing that I just kind of don't like is that these don't connect to anything. Even looking at the instructions, they just kind of sit there. Like, they don't tab in place, they're just kind of just an empty space right there. So yeah, his the official way to transform based on the instructions is that the legs fold down and he sits like this. And I think that looks a little bit silly. Like I said, I prefer how he looks in the movie to where it's angled upward a bit. Now granted, he could angle himself up and down, but I think that that just looks a little bit silly. So I prefer to keep the legs folded up and then just adjust him as I need to. But as getting him into cannon mode, it's not that the transformation is necessarily objectively difficult. I just don't have a lot of experience with this one, so it took me a little bit. And I feel like once I practiced a bit more, I could do it pretty easily. So that's Galvatron to cannon mode. Now let's reverse the process and get him into robot mode. Start by taking off the accessories. So remove the ship guns, cannon barrel, cannon piece, and the matrix. So from cannon mode, we've already got the legs halfway pushed in right here. But let's flip them back down and fold up the extender pieces right there and just put them back. So let's stand them upright. First things first, untab the skirt flaps. So now the shoulders can swing free. We're gonna separate the back from the legs like that. Pop the legs apart. Fold these down so that they chill out on his calves here. We flip the heel piece out. There we go. And from there, we separate the chest piece from the cannon, like so. Pop the top. There's his head. And like I said, this one is more colored based on his G1 toy counterpart, as opposed, and they use a very similar color scheme in the original Marvel comics, as opposed to how he looked in the cartoon. Might have been a better idea to actually move this piece first. Okay, there we go. Now that's his hips right there, so we're going to swing the legs up and make it to where he can stand, or well, his chest stands back up. Then we plug in, well, yeah, right here, the rub symbol. Yeah, that's a really nice touch I like right there. A lot of old Transformers figures used to come with these. Not as much anymore. You can definitely see Decepticon insignia there. But when he's in robot mode, it's hidden because it goes right here. And it's closed up. You can't really see where it is now. Stand up tall, proud as the leader of the Decepticons. Let the flaps sit there. Then you got the back piece right here. Not entirely sure if you're actually supposed to have it standing up straight. I think that the instructions show it as, yeah, the instructions show the back piece standing up straight, but it doesn't really connect to anything to make it stand up. Actually, no, I was wrong. Right there. That little peg right there, that pegs into the cannon barrel in the back, so you can flip that up if you like. I actually kind of prefer to leave it down, but there's a demonstration, so I will have it up. Now the shoulder pauldrons, or the shoulder towers, I guess, collar towers, whatever you want to call those, have those up. You separate the bicep from the forearm. And there's a little tab that keeps it in place. Then you flip the hands out. Keep that tall thing in the back. And make sure you tab the chest into place, otherwise it's just going to keep moving like that. There we go. Like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time transforming this guy yet, so haven't quite mastered it yet. I feel like that's a little loose. Okay. There we go. So that is robot mode for the Galvatron Generation Selects. I think I said Legacy Selects earlier. I was wrong. Generation Selects. My bad. Yeah, it came in one of these cardboard boxes with the Transformers logo on it, similar to that that red swoop that I had. Or have, rather. And this one came with a bunch of stickers, like the OG Transformers did. And I think that's really cool. I haven't got them applied yet, though, because I don't know if I actually want to. Because stickers will peel when you're transforming, unless it's designed well enough to where, you know, they don't. I do think it's funny that they got the Unicron's head just floating out there in space. It's kind of funny. But we'll put those aside for now. The Matrix is green rather than being the gold and blue color because it is meant to look like the Matrix from the Marvel Comics. And of course that goes around his neck. Tab that in place. I kind of like the back of the cannon on this one, like the more purplish color. It is showing up very blue on the camera, but it's like a dark, very dark purple blue. Dark bluish purple. You can definitely see the difference between these two, but this one is looking more blue than it does in real life. I don't know why. I wonder how the Studio Series 86 is going to look when I actually get it. So then the cannon goes right here. I'm going to put it on the bicep because that's where it went in the original toy. And he also comes with some revenge ship cannons, guns, and then you put them together, and you have an extra sidearm. And it makes sense that he would come with an extra gun because I think the original Galvatron toy did come with a rifle of some sort. I didn't actually get to have the original Galvatron toy because that was a little before my time. This one's joints are a bit, like you heard that creaking. It's because this one is, well, they're both new when I got them, but it's like I explained in my Target Optimus Prime and Scourge video. Not every figure is necessarily created with the same level of quality. And it's like you saw in my Volcanicus unboxing, Red Swoop and Blue Swoop, their joints were of different levels of stiffness just straight out the box. So that is what it is. I really like this Galvatron figure. I do like just how wide he is. Like, I like how broad his chest is. It makes him look kind of tall and imposing. And again, I think he looks really good with my purple Seeker here. It's a G2 Ramjet. And I think that the purple is a very good Decepticon color, especially when you get into like season 3 of the cartoon. G2 Ramjet would have fit right in with the G1 cast with this color scheme because Cyclonus, Scourge, the Sweeps, and Galvatron were all that purplish blue color. So I feel like that would have been a nice little touch right there. I already did a size comparison in the Galvatron unboxing video. And like I said, they are coming out with the Studio Series 86 Galvatron, which is more movie-accurate colors. The cannon barrel is opaque instead of being translucent, which for this color scheme, I'm okay with it being translucent because that is an homage to the original, which is what it was supposed to be. Not as okay with it on this one because it doesn't really serve a practical function. And like I said, I am selling this Galvatron figure to a friend, and I am waiting for the Studio Series 86 one to come out. So I don't really need this one if I'm getting the more movie-accurate one. So I guess good fortune to my friend then, because this figure has barely been played with and only transformed like twice, just so I can make a video on it, and that means that it's still in really good condition. So that Galvatron's going over there, and for now this is the one that will be on my shelf and gets to hang out with all my other Decepticons until the Studio Series 86 one appears, and then I can have Galvatron movie and Galvatron comic. So that way, if I eventually, or not if, when I eventually get an Ultra Magnus, I can have comic Galvatron fight him just like they did in the comics. Might eventually get an upgrade kit for him because I do like the idea of having some opening hands so that you can try to open the Matrix. Like, they do make various upgrade kits for different Transformers, and I might cover those if I eventually get some. So yeah, that was my review of the Galvatron figure from the last, like, 4 or 5 different lines that we've gotten. One that I think is kind of silly and I don't plan to get anytime soon is the Behold Galvatron, which is, it's basically just this Galvatron, but in a, like, purple color scheme with some panel lines on it. It's supposed to represent when Megatron was getting transformed into Galvatron in the movie. It's like not even translucent plastic like Starscream's Ghost. And, you know, it's a fun novelty, but I'm not looking to shell out that much money for it. But anyway, this has been my review of the Galvatron figure for Generation Select and the Legacy toy line. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.